Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome out here to the IRP Indianapolis Raceway Park. We are here tonight for ASRC's penultimate race of the season. It is none other than Upstate Al bringing the racing action here tonight at one of my favorite racetracks. We've got 15, I believe 16 cars signed in here tonight. We'll have two heat races. Race number one up on the racetrack right now. Brett Hahn's that fast time of being last week's winner will have to come from the tail both in the heat race and in tonight's 75-lap feature. That will give the pole to James Pileski and car number 93 outside of him, Tanner Tallarico. Starting in row number 2, the 49 of Braden Cook and the number 7 of Jackson McLaren. Right there behind them will be the 260 car. That is Brian Doman. Outside of him will be car number 33 of Zane Cruz. And Zach Coyer, Andrew Harding's making up the final row as we are ready to go green flag racing for the first time tonight. We are underway here for our first 6-minute heat race. Down through turns 1 and 2, everybody sneaking it out there pretty decently. You can see from the top of the spotter stand what just kind of view that they have in this track. Very wide, 2, 3, 4 wide possibly here this evening as they head down through turns 1 and 2, and everybody really sitting there nose to tail. And that number 7 car, Jackson McLaren, well, he'll be here in real life in the Invitational series coming up, I believe, this week. So we get to see him, watch him on the tube. Oh, and he's going to get turned as the 49 of Cook got the outside wall. And our first Tallarico Boardwalk sub-yellow flag of the evening comes out. It's a good thing we'll not be talking about them on the air coming this week, is every time I talk about someone, they seem to get in trouble. And that all stemmed from Braden Cook getting the outside retaining wall, causing a stack up, and around went the 7 of McLaren. Let's take a look back here and see. See him coming up off the corner. See Cook's car steps out, gets the outside wall, and the 033 of Zane Cruz just had nowhere to go. Did not expect that. I don't think anybody really did, including the 49 of Cook. But they will live on to see another day of racing here. Remember, this is just setting up tonight's heat races, our main event. The time of the qualifying, I can tell you that Brett Hahn set fast time in the qualifying. We will see what he will do. Remember him and the number 8 of, oh boy, Braden Deweese, Braxton Deweese. There. How are you, Chris? Chris out there in the YouTube chat. They shoehorned them all in here this afternoon at the IRP. This place will be packed all weekend as in the real world. But Pileski up on the front of this one in the Loco Toco, number 93. Good to see him out here once again this week. Field formed up behind the iRacing pace truck, which will make the hard left-hand turn here. You enter turn the pit road on the backstretch right there. A long ways around the field, pacing through the corners. Looking for the restart zone, and they get the Sunoco restart zone, and we are back underway. Down here and through turns 1 and 2, and you see them fanning all behind James Pileski. Brett Hahn in that 71 car trying to make some quick work up to the big time Motorsports Media entry. Jackson McLaren back there as well, battling with the number 49 of Braden Cook. And back there. They got 2 minutes to get back towards the front, and this track historically hard to pass until you get into a long run, but as that happens, McLaren Going to try to make a wire out of the Bubba's Bottle Milk Podcast Chevy Camaro. He's going to slide up in front of the 49. Clearing up in the spot 7 in the car, number 7. Zach Boyer, Brett on 45 behind, going to get around, or 71 behind, getting around the 45 of Harding. And in front of them is the 13 of Zach Coyer. Coyer trying to get to the finish and go on board, a little plump on board the camera. The driver out of Tennessee. Trying to make something happen. Get around Cruz and then 033 caught. Got a good run to the corner up off of turn number 4. They'll come door to door. Brett Hahn trying to stalk his prey. Meanwhile, behind them, McLaren, he'll go to the inside, trying to make something happen on Harding's down the back stretch. A little bit of contact down in the corner. McLaren's going to try to slide up. He will. There'll be the sandwich in between the team cars with Harding and Cook. Summer Series Championship as the white flag flies. Final trip around the speedway for James Pileski, who's looking to take the pole here for tonight's 75 lap main event. Good battle here. Oh, they get big contact. Brett Hahn's going to get by him as Zach Boyer and the 33 of Cruz make contact, and they're still hitting each other, but all this happening behind the 93 of Pileski, who will pick up the win. Talarico second. Hahn third, Harding's, McLaren, Cook, Thome, Cruz, and Coyer will round out the field. And just like that, heat race number 1 to the books. And heat race number 2 will start to come out onto the racetrack, and we'll get you that. Starting the line. Heat race number 2 starting to get set up here. And this is your starting lineup. It is going to be Braxton DeWeese up on the point. Outside of him will be the number 52 of the Dillon Motorsports entry. This is Jeff Dillon. The driver all the way from Newfoundland, Canada, will be up there in Newfoundland. I guess it's not, it is Canada, but not. Anyways, I'll stop. Devin McDonald roll off third. Outside of him, last week's birthday boy. We'll have to ask him tonight if he feels any older. The 38 of David Payton. Mark Fuqua in car number 6 will roll off in spot number 5. And outside of him, Scott Negis in car 55. John Kane and Greg Wong will make up your 8-car field as they start to roll around the racetrack. This will be heat race number 2. Final prelim race of the evening. And it's hard to believe the season wrapping up. 1 week from tonight, we'll be at the Hickory Motor Speedway for a little bull ring finale as they all get ready to go here tonight. We got some good looking race cars out there. Jeff Dillon at 52 looking pretty good. Looks good all except for that Washington Capitals logo on there. Being a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, it's kind of a rivalry. Just kidding, Jeff. We love your paint schemes. Always looking good. All these cars always look good out here on the American Sim Racing Club Super Late Model Series Invitational only here presented by Sunoco as the pace truck getting ready to pull on in. Heat race number 2 about ready to go green. Green flag is out and we are underway. DeWeese going to take the lead down in the turn number 1, and Jeff Dillon would not that great of a start on the outside. He'll fall back to the 3rd position. McDonald's get by side battle back there between Mark and David, the 6 and the 38 car. As they roll up off the corner, the Ford Mustang rolls the bottom side, but David Payne's going to get the momentum on the outside. We're going to see a lot of that here in tonight's 75 lap main event. Good battle here. 1, 2. And right there behind him is the 55 of Regis. He's just trying to find a way around him, but up front, it is Braxton Lewis in car number 8. Him and the 71 will be battling it out all night long. Right now, Luis trying to stay up on the front row. This heat race here with the side. The outside row for tonight's main event. He's got the pole after picking up the heat race win in heat number 1. This is heat 2 if you're just joining us here on the Third Tier Racing Network. Thank you for tuning on in. Is Luis, McDonald, Dillon, Fuqua, Payton, Kane, Long, and Regis. That's how they work around the racetrack. Battle it out. Jeff Dillon, though, starting to close back in on this battle is the 8 of Braxton Luis. As we go on board with this hometown Sunoco onboard camera. Getting out the back side. Number 2 in a very unique way. If you just tuned in for the first time this season, we will take and find out. As now Dillon trying to put some pressure on Devin McDonald. Trying to make something happen here as everyone's starting to find their way into a slot. Look at the Bubba's Mountain Broke podcast drone camera following your top 3 here in heat race number 2. Trying to find out who's going to pick up this heat race win. It looks like Braxton Luis has it, but still a long ways to go. Remember, heat race number 1 had that yellow flag, took a lot of time away from those racers. Right now, these guys, after completing lap number 9, putting lap 10 to the books, and they are learning what these cars are going to do on a long run, with how much fall off there's going to be. And you see the 17 of Greg Long, his first start of the season in that number 17 automobile. He is following the veteran of David Payton. That is for the 5th and 6th spot. As they all work around this racetrack. John Kane in the number 9 car running in 7th, and Scott Nee just rounding out the field with 1:25 left to go. Everyone doing a good job here in heat race number 2 as Braxton Luis shows the way. Down the backstretch, Jeff Dillon, though, starting to put the pressure in the old Pontiac. Don't see that too often. Jeff Dillon trying to make something happen behind the Rowdy Energy Drink Camry. They all work down here in turns 3. This should be the white flag lap, I do believe, for Braxton Deweese as he comes off of the corner. Looks like they'll get 2 more laps. Jeff Dillon trying to make something happen behind the 18. Might have to hold on to it. This time by check and roll wave for heat race number 2, and Braxton Deweese going to take the interstate forward and put it on the front row here tonight and have a lot of cars between himself and his championship battle component, the 71 of Brett Hahn, as heat race action concludes here tonight. As the field will get their happy hour session. And as they do that, we'd like to take and thank our sponsors for the American Sim Racing Club Super Late Model Invitational Series, presented by Sunoco. Cutlerville, hometown Sunoco, supports the American Sim Racing Club and the Super Late Model Invite Series, located just south of Grand Rapids. Hometown Sunoco serves all of the greater West Central Michigan area. Tallarico Boardwalk Subs, Jersey-style soups, subs, and salads, serving West Michigan. Pro Coat Powder Coating, the proud sponsor of the 2024 Perfect Attendance Award. Drivers that compete in all 17 Summer Series races will be eligible for a cash prize at the end of the season. And if you need something powder coated, you gotta think Pro Coat. Pro Coat Powder Coating. That's where the pros go. Bubba's Bout Broke podcast, dedicated to shining a spotlight on short track racers from all across the United States. Listen into the Bubba's Bout Broke podcast each Monday on Apple and Spotify. And the LaPlante Racing Series, Triple Crown Series presenting sponsor that wrapped up 1 week ago, where Brett Hahn picked up those honors. LaPlante Racing Products, a proud supporter of the American Sim Racing Club, and that is all the proud sponsors that make this happen for the series here this evening in all season long. And it's hard to believe just one more race to go, and that is next week when the series heads to Hickory Motor Speedway for round number 17. It's hard to believe the summer series coming to a close in the month of July. And these racers will have a short break before headed into the Street Stock Series. We hope to see many of these familiar faces in that coming up here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Classic Jam in there, along with Alan's art images. What's going on, fellas? Glad to have you be part of the show here this afternoon. We lost Racing Jason. I'm not really sure where he is. He said he was on his way to get some subs, and hasn't returned. So we'll find out where he is. So we'll take and find out what's going to happen here this afternoon. Is happy hour, as I call it, last few minutes of practice going on. And it looks like we are going to get ready to go with tonight's main event. 75 laps is the distance that these racers will go. And it's going to be tough sledding for the 71. I do believe is what a beautiful sunset behind a packed grandstands here at the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park as we get ready to go with tonight's main event. And here is your starting lineup for tonight's 75 lap main event. James Pileski will be on the front row. Outside of him will be the Braxton Deweese Racing car number 8. This is Braxton Deweese. Tanner Talarico will roll off in spot number 3, and outside of him, car number 18, that is Devin McDonald. Brett Hahn slated to go from the 5th spot. Remember, he'll have to drop tail with the shotgun rule here in the American Sim Racing Club. Jeff Dillon will roll off 6. Andrew Hardings and Mark Fuqua will make up row number 4. And row number 5 will see Jackson McLaren and David Payton. Braden Cook and Greg Long will make up row number 6. And the remaining starting lineup for tonight's field will see Brian Thome in car number 13. John Kane will roll off 14th. Zane Cruz 15th. Scott Nijas 16th. And Zach Coyer shotgun on the field. And that will be our starting lineup here tonight. For tonight's main event is the field paces behind what is going to be an amazing 75 lap main event. Here, who's your picks out there, driver? Everybody there? Anybody think it'll be James Pileski going to hold on to the 75 laps? Braxton Luis needing the win after the 71 of Brett Hahn picked up the win 1 week ago. It will be an interesting tale here tonight to see who is going to bring home the hardware here from IRP and head into Hickory, and what is going to be a close championship battle between the 8 and the 71. Through turns 3 and 4, the green flag, and Barney's right hand ready to give it the go. As they roll through the corner, green flag is up, and we are racing at IRP. Everybody jostling for position in the opening laps here, side-by-side battle. Here comes the number 6 car of Mark on the outside of the 260 at Thome as they all work down here through turns 3 and 4. Lap number 1 going into the books as we watch the battle as the top 10 just about single file. Zach Coyer already moving up through the field into the 10th spot now as they all work here on the backstretch. Poleski, Deweese, McDonald, your top 3. Everybody settling in. 75 laps is a long time around this speedway. Tanner Talarico, the boss man, getting back out onto the racetrack this week, trying to make something happen. See if we can get a word with him. Jackson McLaren running in the 5th spot. Right there is the 52 of Jeff Dillon as well. That is your top 6. Right there behind him is Mark Fuqua in car number 6. First start of the season for Mark and what is a beautifully prepared looking number 6 car. Love the design on that right there behind them. That's the 33 Goodwreck car of Zane Cruz. Cruz in that 33. Throwing it back to an old Earnhardt scheme. Pileski open up to a half-second lead. Everybody doing a good job here early on, not pressing the issues. 71 of Brett Hahn up just 3 positions from the start of this race. And just riding there right now, currently in that 14th spot. You got to believe maybe trying to save some of those tires for a little bit later on in tonight's show. Braxton Luis here in the number 2 spot, and he has a good battle shaping up between them. Every time we look back, Talarico trying to go a little bit lower to get a run on the 18, but everyone's kind of just stuck where they are currently. Gonna wait for these tires to heat up, and just right now it's all about logging laps. You don't really want to press the issue to maybe about 20-25 laps to go. and then you can really get on it, start pressuring the guys in front of you. Jackson McLaren out there in that Bubba's About Broke podcast car. A lot of you out there in the chat. We love to have you. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in here tonight. And what is going to be a good one here is the number 8 of DeWeese finds himself 1 second behind this man. The 93 of James Pileski. Pileski ending up on the podium 1 week ago at the Slinger Speedway, where they went 123 laps before the first yellow flag. And I will tell you, I lost money in Vegas last week on that one. I did not see that happening, but what a great race week in and week out these guys put on. As the 13 of Zach Coyer now in that 10th spot, trying to make it to 9th, as he is behind the Sparko number 260 of Thome. Thome works the outside, trying to get a run on the 33 of Cruz. And you really got to make some ground or try to put yourself in position. This track will really eat up your tires if you are not careful. You see Cruz get the outside wall. Here comes Stone down to the inside, and that might open the outside for the 13 of Coyer if Cruz can keep him down there. And here comes the 13 of Coyer. Coyer gets to the outside of Thome. This is the battle for the 9th spot. As they work here, Coyer's going to have that preferred lane and the momentum down the backstretch. Give Coyer 9th as he works here. And David Payton right there as well. Payton trying to make a move to the outside, but it's going to have to fall back in line. Brett Hahn in that 471 car working underneath Nijis. Nijis in that 55 car as we go on board with the driver on the Sunoco onboard camera with Brett Hahn. You can see him trying to make something happen. He'll dive down to the inside of Nijis. Nijis going to fight back on the outside. Brett Hahn going to try to complete the pass. He'll enter a little bit shallow, drift up in front of the 55. Is he clear? He is. Move the 71 up to the number 13 spot as he looks to chase down Greg Long in car number 17. James Pileski still leading as the green flag has dropped here. But Braxton DeWeese starting to carve back in there. Oh, and hang on to her, McDonald. McDonald got the outside retaining wall, and that allows the number 1 of Tallarico to be right back on the rear bumper cap. Tallarico now to the inside of the number 18. Couldn't make something happen just there. Jackson McLaren there ready to make a move. And that is one of the trickiest parts about racing here at IRP is when you make a move, you have to be calculated about it. You got to be able to make a move and know that you're not going to be putting yourself in a vulnerable spot to get past as they work down the backstretch. Tallarico is going to be stuck to the inside. Here comes Jackson McLaren. McLaren trying to take 4th away from Tallarico. Tallarico down to the inside. Here comes Jackson McLaren. McLaren's going to take that 4th spot away. Tallarico says not quite yet. But it is a good battle back here, and this has brought Jeff Dillon and the number 7 of Fuqua involved as well. And they can all smell the blood in the waters of the Juan Tallarico dragging the inside lane. He gives the 7 McLaren the spot. Here comes Jeff Dillon trying to fill that void as well. Dillon up on the outside of the racetrack, and he's going to get by the one at Tallarico. So Tallarico has a little bit of daylight if he wants to let the 6 car by to get back up in spot. Meanwhile, Brett Hahn up inside the top 10 for the first time tonight, as he gets around the 38 of David Payton. Tanner Tallarico, though, still down on the inside. Jeff Dillon in the outside wall. He's going to be able to get back into the gas, though, but Tallarico with a good drive off. He'll stop the bleeding in the 5th spot, but all that allowed the 13 to roll in on that battle, as 3rd through 8th all nose to tail now, trying to work each other over, and we are already 25 laps deep into this one here, and it's been all James Pileski out front, but the 8 of Braxton Louise keeping them honest so far here at the IRP at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Good battle right here. McLaren working the backside of the 18 of Devin McDonald's for the final podium spot. And this is some 3 seconds behind your race leaders, Pileski and DeWeese. So that's what kind of pace they are setting early on in this one. You saw on the top of the screen, Brett Hahn getting around Thome, and our first Tallarico Boardwalk subs yellow flag coming out, as Greg Long involved with an accident here with John Kane and Zane Cruz, bringing out our first yellow flag of the afternoon. And that is going to erase that 3-second lead and bring everybody back together. Let's take a look and see what happened. John Kane, you see he was involved up there. Cruz down. Oh, there's a little bit of bumper tag up off the corner and nowhere to go. I think Long's car will live to see another day, but it was hard left rear contact to the outside wall. Let's go on board. This guy in the gas and around, he went and boom, and John Kane nowhere to go, went to the outside of the slowing 17. And that is all is going to rope. John Kane down on pit road. The good news here for the 9 of Kane is this racetrack takes a little bit of time to get around underneath the yellow flag. If he has some serious damage, and then he can get back away, get back out on the racetrack. But so far, your race leader staying out onto the racetrack. No one on pit road for your main leaders. And we are already going back to double file on this restart. Green flag back in the air. We are back underway. And it is Pileski going to jump out into the race lead over DeWeese. Everyone out stacking it up 2 by 2 back here. Your top 3 goes single file, or top 2 at least. Here comes Jackson McLaren trying to make something happen around. The 18 of Devin McDonald. McDonald trying to pedal hard as he can on the inside. McLaren is in the preferred lane, but McDonald holding court. Gets into the gas hard, comes up. The McLaren's going to have to check up. That allows Taylor Rico back to the inside of the Bubba's About Broke podcast number 7. He'll battle back though on the outside. McLaren having a tough go here as Tallarico gets back by. He's going to be able to slide up in front of him down the backstretch. Now the 7 will dive down low. Tallarico not done yet. He's going after the 18 of Devin McDonald. Everybody migrating their way down the racetrack, trying to make something happen here. Tallarico working the inside. Here comes Jackson McLaren as well. Underneath McDonald. McDonald's going to give up that 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Braxton Luis has stayed right on the back trunk lid of the 93 of Pileski. Brett Hahn starting to move up as well. He is now into the 8th spot as he is behind the number 6 of Mark Fuqua. McLaren now on the attack. He'll work to the inside. They'll come off the corner door to door with the 18 of McDonald. Slides back in the line before Coyer can get there. Gotta be conscious of what's happening in front of you and in back of you when you go to make a move. When racing here, I always try to snicker the guy in front of me to the inside of the racetrack and you get up on the right rear of him and be able to get a momentum move on him. Keep them pinned down. Usually you can complete the pass, but here it looks like tonight that middle to bottom is the place to be. As I said, Jeff Dillon though trying to work to the back around the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn to the inside of Fuqua. The 52 trying to figure out which lane to go with. He's got Thome right there behind him, so if it doesn't work out, he could lose some positions. John Kane in that 9 car with some fresh rubber on him. Oh, Fuqua on the outside wall. The 52 at Dillon, nowhere to go. They'll lose 2-3 spots as they hit turn number 1. Hard lick right there for them. But Braxton Luis now taking a bid for your race lead. Luis down to the inside. They'll make some contact off of turn number 4. Robin is racing down to the turn number 1. The Pileski 93 to the outside. Deweese to the inside. Deweese can see that the 71 starting to move up that scoring pylon. Says it is time to go. I need to lead some laps. Down to the inside they come on the front stretch. 8 car trying to make it past them as they work off the corners. Going to have the run. Braxton Luis to the race lead. That also allows the number 1 Tanner Tallarico into the mix as well. Tallarico trying to get in this 1 of 3 car battles. Jackson McLaren and Brett Hahn battle it out. Hahn's going to get on by him. That was for spot 5. Dewey Scott to run away and hide up at the front of this one. Has already opened up to a 0.3 of a second gap over the 93 of Pileski. And you got to wonder, was Pileski going too hard at the beginning of this race? Next time by, it'll be 30 laps to go. Now Brett Hahn trying to put the moves on the 18 car. hear the throttle work. Nice and easy off, easy on, down to the inside he will go. And Jackson McLaren right there as well behind him. Here comes Brett Hahn. He'll drive the 71 down to the inside. Jackson McLaren right there as well, trying to find out which way to go. John Kane in the 8th spot with those fresh tires after fixing some damage. He took some 4 fresh Hoosiers and he has made his way into the 8th spot. He is behind the 260th Thome. As we watch this 3-car battle. Oh, and the yellow flag coming out here for the second time as Scott Negis and David Payton involved along here down in turn number 1. And what is going to be an interesting play call on the pit strategy. But let's take a look and see what happened real quick. They get down here in the turn number 1 and oh, got into the rear. And he just touched the bumpers. And around he went and oh boy, let's come back live. Pictures here on the front stretch. 3rd place running Tanner Tallarico coming down pit road. Leaving your top 2, the only 2 cars not the pit, along with John Kane. Everyone else coming down pit roads for some fresh Mr. Feelgoods. Boy, oh boy. Right sides only for the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Brett Hahn's going to come out in that 5th spot. Oh, the strategy, the play call. And if you're Deweese or Pileski, you saw what happened behind you. You knew the field was going to do the opposite of what you did, right? Like, that's the play call. If you come down pit road, they're staying out. If you don't come down pit road, they're going in. So, one of those things, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't. Field rolling into the restart zone presented by Sunoco, and the 8 of Braxton Weiss going to jump on that loud pedal first. And we are back underway with 23 laps to go, and DeWeese going to try to run away and hightail. Rico getting into the back bumper. It's causing a big stack up, and around will go to 52 of Jeff Dillon. The 6 of Fuqua there. His green flag still stays out. As Deweese leads it, Tallarico made a little bit of bumper contact with the 93 as they are all still bouncing off each other through the corner. Everybody trying to make some hay down the backstretch. Oh, the 93 going to get tapped again. He's going to cause a big one. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Big wreck down here in the corner. James Pileski going around. And you had to worry about that. The speed difference between fresh tires versus non-fresh tires. The closing rate is just massive. Let's take a look back here. You see him come off the corner down into turn number 3. John Kane gets in the left rear quarter panel. And hard contact there. Everyone doing evasive action. And a lot of drivers coming down pit road, including the 93 who led the most laps here this evening. You can see that right front tire bowed in, so he's got some bent steerings on that 93 car. And we'll see what kind of damage that they can fix on that car. But now your top two are your top two in the championship standings. The Braxton Deweese number 8 and the 71 of Brett the Jet Hahn run 1-2. Third spot, Devin McDonald, Brian Thoman, that Sparco number 260 running in fourth. Fifth spot, Jackson McLaren. Sixth, David Payne, Andrew Harding's in that 45 running seventh. Good run for him this evening. Scott Neegis 8th. Ninth will be Braden Cook, and John Kane rounding out your top 10. Zach Coyer is 11th, and James Poleski losing a lap on pit road. Will come out onto the racetrack here this afternoon. Right front looks like it still has seen better days. This time by, I believe the field will double up as lights will go out on the pace track. No, they're going to do one more lap around. What do you say there, folks? Is it going to be Braxton going to be able to hold off the fresh tires behind them? The Lone Ranger out on the front of this one. It is going to be interesting here at the end to see as Braxton Deweese and Brett Hahn up on the front of this one. Deweese will have to fire first in the Sunoco restart zone. Eric, good to see you out there. Glad to have you. We got the Braxton Deweese fan club. Glad to have you all out there as well. Look forward to seeing your comments each and every week. As the field rolls in, 16 laps to go when the green flag drops in that Sunoco restart zone. The 8 gonna jump on the loud pedal first. Down in the turn number 1, they file in two by two now, single filing it. Andrew Harding and Dave Patton will be side by side for just a moment. Braxton Deweese holding on to that race lead. Here comes the 71 of Brett Hahn right to the back bumper. Hahn with fresh tires, right sides on that 71 car. Hahn taking a look down to the inside, can't do anything with him that time in the turn number 3. By the 18 of Devin McDonald hunting the outside. Now Hahn to the inside off of turn number 4. Deweese trying to block the advances of that 71. Knows he has to try to keep them behind them. They get down each other, rubbing doors off of turn number 2. Side by side for your race lead in the turns 3 and 4. The Interstate Ford trying to keep the 71 at bay. Now the 18 of Devin McDonald right playing in this one as well. Will they go 3 wide? They're leaning on each other. Your top 2 off of turn number 4. Here we come. 8 tires turn better. Oh, they get hooked on each other. The 71's going to get turned. Around will go McLaren. Yellow flag coming out. Jackson McLaren went around after contact between McDonald and Hahn. Let's see. As Jackson McLaren went around, but it was the 71 of Brett Hahn, who's going to hold on to that number 2 spot. And that was a chain reaction. Let's take a look here. You see him coming down here into the corner. And the 71-8 get hooked on each other, and that just kind of stacks them up behind them. Thome getting them back into the 260 car. And yellow flag gonna fly. You see the contact there once again. Everybody doing a good job to miss the 7 of McLaren. So we'll look and see what they're going to do there. It'll be 10 laps to go this time at the stripe. Brett Hahn had put the move on the 8 car. They got hooked together in the turn number 3. And the loser on that end will be the 7 of Jackson McLaren, who gets relegated to the back of the field. Pace truck down and away into that Sunoco restart zone they will come. Green flag back in the air, and Braxton Louise going to try to get away and hide here with 9 laps to go. Brett Hahn right there in his tire tracks off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. Brett Hahn trying to make something happen. We got a little bit of rear end damage. Not sure it's going to matter. He'll take a peek down to the inside once again. Braxton Louise slams the door shut. The 71 of Hahn falls back in line. Little contact once again between Devin McDonald and the 71, and around he'll go. Yellow, yellow, yellow. As Brett Hahn goes around after contact with Devin McDonald. Oh boy. Oh, tough break for the 13. Look at the right front damage on Zach Coyer's Tegrity Farms entry. Dragging the frame rails on that 13 car. And the bottom is falling out on this one. See him get down here into the corner. Let's get a different vantage point of this one. McDonald has had a great run. Did not expect the 71 to kind of check up the way he did. A little bit of bumper contact, and around he went, and hard contact for a lot of the cars there behind him. Bumper cap from the 13 bouncing on the backstretch. Hahn back out there. We'll see how much damage is to the 71 car. Alan's art images out there. Thank you for tuning on in. Says definitely nice to be up front. Been a messy few laps. It sure has been. Braxton Louise going to get back into the Sunoco restart zone with 4 laps to go. He will fire first and get away. Thome going to spin the tires just momentarily. That allows car bridge. Oh, the 7 car up in the outside retaining wall. He'll come back down. That was Jackson McLaren. As they work down the backstretch, it is Deweese, Thome, and Peyton. David Payton is going to have 3 laps to go. Can the birthday boy from a week ago hold on to a podium position? Braden Cook running in 5th. James Pileski making some moves now. He's back on the lead lap and looking to go forward. He's got the 71 of Hahn behind him. This time by the Rabbit Ears will be up 2 laps to go for Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese out front, but he's got the Sparko number 260 at Thome working there right behind him. Can he make something happen? White Silk will fly. Final chip around the IRP. Braxton DeWeese took the race lead from Pileski. Battled hard with Brett Hahn. Now has to hold off of Thome in the turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out. It'll be Braxton DeWeese picking up the win. Thome will come home second. David Payton third. Pileski, Cook, and Hahn. Nijis, McLaren, McDonald, Kane. Your top 10. And just like that, the top 3 cars will come around here to the front. And we will get ready to go with tonight's post-race show as Braxton DeWeese burns it down here on the front stretch. And what a fashion here to hold on to that win. So we will take and get in touch with our top 3. As we will wait on word from them. But we'll start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight. The birthday boy from a week ago. The driver of the number 38 of David Payton. And David, a week late, but a belated happy birthday, my friend.
Oh, thanks, Al.
Hey, you got to come home in that 3rd spot here tonight. What the racing was really tamed at the beginning of this one, and after that first yellow flag, I think getting everybody bunched up, it's really hard to pass. Talk about how the patience and how that all has to play out there while behind the wheel of these super late models right here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, a track like this, it's tough to pass. And as the night went on, the grip difference between like the heat races and the feature was huge. I think that the sun going down and the track cooling off really kind of opened up. Like you could hang, inside and outside. So it was tough to make anything happen. And we were, just all under a blanket. But I think the key really was being patient on the throttle, because I think the geometry of the track sort of makes it so, if you get on it just a little bit too soon or too much too soon, you push like a dump truck. So I think the key really was just you really want to get back on the throttle, because you got that guy on your inside or outside, but you got to fight it and wait until the right moment and then just roll into it. And it seemed to work out okay for us. I think I got lucky. The racing gods, kind of took out a couple guys, that probably would have finished in front of me to let me get this top 3. But, I had a couple bad weeks, so it's good to be back up here talking to you.
It's always a pleasure to talk with you, David. And you know what? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have, so let's go with that.
Hey, it takes a lot of skill to be in the right spot at the right time, though. And you had Scott Nijis, breathing down your neck there those last few laps of this feature. It's hard to believe that next week is the final night of the season as we head to Hickory. That track a little tough little bull ring, and you're gonna have to. You don't have to come from the back, but that track very tough. what's your outtake is the season finale next week?
Well, I'm not really in it in the points anymore. We had too much bad luck this season. I haven't even looked at the points recently. So I think I'm going pretty conservative next week. Last thing I ever want to do is get mixed up with any of the point leaders, I don't want to wreck their season or their race. So I'm going real nice and relaxed next week. And, who knows? Maybe something crazy will happen. And if I find myself in a position where I feel like I can maybe nab a couple spots or, get up front, I might take it. But usually when I'm in a scenario like this where I'm sort of on the outside looking into the points battle, I take a back seat on the last race because it doesn't do anything to race guys hard that have been doing well all season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to believe the season's almost over, but then we're going back to the street stocks, and we hope to see that 38 out there on the racetrack for that as well.
Yeah, the 38's got a new street stock with a new paint scheme, courtesy of Tanner Tallarico. So I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, my heart kind of fell away from the super late models. I don't like them as much as the old one was, and I don't really like this car as much as some of the other oval cars in iRacing. So I'm excited to move on to something new and fresh. And I was telling the guys earlier today, I feel like either I got slower or everyone else around me got faster. And I'm wondering if it's just sort of, my heart's not as invested into the races as it used to be. I think a lot of it just has to do with bad luck, and then you just sort of get like you start to feel like, what am I doing? This is kind of wasting time. I keep getting wrecked and blah. You fall down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But a good top three will always pulls me out of it. And then changing cars and a little bit of a format change and freshen things up. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited. I'll definitely be there though.
Sounds good, buddy. We hope to see you 1 week's time as the season finale at Hickory. But we'll let you roll out the red carpet. Who makes it all possible for this 38 car?
Well, the league sponsors, I think the last time I talked to you, said the same thing. Huge deal for us. Anytime any organization gives us a little bit of money to help us, put the races on and get broadcasted and things like that. Hometown Sunoco, E-Lift Brothers, Boardwalk Subs, Pro Coat, and of course Turn 3 Racing Network. Some of the best broadcasters, I believe, out there. On YouTube, you find those guys on YouTube. They got a bunch of different types of oval racing and dirt racing, and all the guys are really cool. And so thanks to all you guys. And then, as I always say, because just in case she listens to my interview, my lovely wife Natalie, that lets me pretend to be a race car driver while she's out there watching TV.
The unsung heroes of our racing careers, right, Dave?
Yep. Behind every good man is an even better woman. I think that's the saying, right? Something like that.
Something like that. We'll go with it. Well,
that sounds good.
Congratulations, David. Always a pleasure talking with you, buddy. We hope to be talking to you in 1 week's time. But until then, buddy, keep the wheels down, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Al.
There you go. That is David Payton picking up. I always mess your name up just to make it fun. And how about our race winner here this evening, the number 8 Interstate Ford of Braxton DeWeese. And, the 71 came out swinging last week and shot the win. You're going to come home with a win here tonight at IRP. And very, had to fight off those fresh tires at the end of the race.
You got me?
There he is. There's Braxton. He was talking things over with his crew chief, and I think probably strategizing for next week as you're going to have to come from the rear. But, man, holding off those fresh tires behind you in a great battle with Brett Hahn that saw, a little bit of contact there, and walk us through what happened.
Yeah, once that one caution came out after I took the lead from James, I wasn't really. I mean, the first one we all stayed out, and I was relieved with that. But after the second one came out, between 25 and 30, I was just like, well, I don't really know what to do here. So I elected to stay out, and then everybody else came in except James. And then John had pitted a couple caution before, or two before. So I was just hoping that I could hang on and stay out front. That caution with James kind of helped a little bit, kind of didn't, because they ended up being right there. And of course, Brett was right there. He was getting them cautions that he needed. So I wish I could have got them last week. We could have been in such a better spot, I feel like, personally, right now with the points. But you work with what you got, and we did what we had to do tonight, and other than getting the pole and starting first. But we were able to keep the tires on the first green flag run, and we were able to get around James. And when I saw Brett, start to get closer to me on them new tires, I just pretty much was like, I just got to keep him down on the flat as much as possible. I mean, there wasn't really much I could do. I felt like with the advantage that he had, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to pinch him down as much as I can, but obviously not like go down and go across the, hit his side real hard or whatnot. I was just trying to hit that first seam and then kind of rotate down and kind of follow the car with him a little bit. He started to realize that I was keeping him down a lot and I wasn't really helping him, so he started to come up into the corner a little bit more, and which is totally reasonable. And going into 3, he went in there. He had a little bit more of an advantage, like a quarter of a car. He came up and then caught my left rear. We got hooked a little bit for a split second, then got unhooked, and I'm not sure who was behind, but he ended up hooking him, and he went around. So just a racing incident, honestly. I felt like the Bristol one was a lot worse, to be honest with you. Even though they were just so like very little, both things were both just little instances. I definitely felt like that one was a little bit worse, and felt like I tried to do the best I could there to keep him down there. And I got pretty lucky with when he went around on that one caution, and I was telling myself I got to capitalize on this. That's it right there. I have to get this win. So I'm happy I could hang on, and I'm 7 points back now as the points have updated. So we got to come from the back at Hickory, and I texted my dad. I was like, all we have to do is win. So I know it's easy. It's definitely easier said than done. But if we get a couple of cautions that we had tonight, next week, I feel like that'll definitely help, as long as we're not in them and we can take advantage of them. So we're going to try to do our best. And if we also get that win, we'll also get the 10-point bonus, I believe, with the back-to-back. So I'm really looking at that and thinking to myself that I need to win this if I want to get the championship. So it's what we're going to try to do, and we're going to try to run through the field.
Well, you're going to have to, like you said, come from the back at Hickory. And Hickory, you can do that. Track is wide. It's a little bit of a tricky track and a driver's track, and hopefully you have a good run next week. We're looking forward to the season finale. Who makes it all possible for you, Braxton, that's on the side of this race car to get you here in Victory Lane?
Most definitely Interstate Ford on the car. We had him on the car yesterday, and we were in a points battle as well as tonight, and we needed it to go well yesterday. And it kind of the same thing happens. The leader in the points, I was 7 points back, and he had a little bit of a mishap, and I was able to be out in the lead and able to take the win and able to gain some good points in that. So, so to be able to do that and get the win tonight back to back is pretty good feeling, especially with how the points are in the two leagues that I'm running. So I'm pretty proud of that with having Interstate Ford on the car for both nights. And I also appreciate Alan's Arts Images. He already actually gave me a text. He's always given me a text relatively right after my race, so I really do appreciate him watching, as well as Kelly Allen as well. So appreciate them. Bennett's Publical, Jane's on Main, DeWeese Renovations, Booth 34 Diecast, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. Like I say, you can use Brex5 for 10% off whatever coffee you want to try out there. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate Tanner and everybody, all the admins that run this league, and looking forward to next week. Also looking forward to the new Streets Talk League that's coming up, and I appreciate you broadcasting. And I'm not sure if it's been released yet. It probably has, but are you broadcasting for the Streets Talk League?
To be determined. I'm not sure. I got to work,
Okay.
Talk to Tanner. I'm not sure.
Alrighty, well, I hope you are, man. So I appreciate you, and look forward to go back and watching, and I look forward to practicing and trying to do the best I can for next week.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to seeing what this 8 car can do. Braxton, thanks for your time here tonight, buddy. We'll see you next week at Hickory.
Thanks, Al. Have a good one.
You as well. That is tonight's feature event winner. Braxton Luis going to have to come from the tail in 1 week's time. And this is what your feature results look like here this evening. Braxton Luis going to pick up the win over Brian Thome. David Payton will come home third. Brian with a nice run in that Sparko 260. Unfortunately, not able to get calm on him. But Brian, great job coming home in that P2. James Pileski with a nice rebound to finish fourth. Braden Cook fifth. Brett Hahn sixth. Scott Nija seventh. Jackson McLaren, John Kane, and Devin McDonald rounding out your top 10. Zach Coyer and Andrew Hardings will finish 11th. 12th, Tanner Tallarico's 13th. Mark Fuqua will finish 14th. Jeff Dillon, Greg Long, and Zane Cruz will round out your 17-car field. Well, that will do it. Only one race remains, and that'll be next Wednesday night down at the Hickory Motor Speedway. But until next week, everybody keep it wheels down, and we'll talk to you in turn 3. Good night, everybody.